Hello everybody, it's Chris Nguyen from W3 Real Estate Investing. I want to introduce a new video series. I'm going to call it, Hey, Did You Know? This is where I'm going to share updates and news about the Canadian real estate market and financial news and updates in Canada. Okay. So today, in the first episode, we're going to go over the current average rent across Canada. Now, the contents of this video will start with the introduction of the rental market in Canada, and we're going to go over previous updates, and we're going to go over the current rents across Canada, and we're going to also go over what is the reason that create the current numbers that we're seeing today. And also, I give you my personal interpretations of what does this all mean to me. So let's get started. Now, the first question probably a lot of people are going to ask is why anyone would rent instead of own properties in Canada. Now, it depends on the market, but a lot of people choose to rent because they want to have the big lump sum amount to go and invest in something else that has cash flow return on investment. Or also a lot of people just cannot afford to buy properties and make down payments. Again, depends on where you're located. Or there's a lot of people just trying to make end meet and saving up for a down payment at the same time. Also, qualification for mortgage is a challenge for a lot of people. That is why a lot of people choose to stay rented as in owning a property. Okay? So now we have a bit of background. I will go over some numbers and I will put it on the screen here somewhere. In June and July of 2022, rent across the market went up compared to rent in 2021. Rent in BC went up from $1,900 to $2,500 a month. Rent in Alberta actually only went up almost $100 from $1,200 a month to $1,300 a month compared 2021 to 2022. You can see the rest of the market for yourself, but I also want to bring up that rent in Newfoundland is also went from $900 a month to $1,057 a month. Right? Let's go to the month of September, which is very recent for us. These are the latest numbers that I can find. Right? Now in BC, rent went from $2,000 a month on average in 2021 has gone up to $2,682 a month in 2022. In Newfoundland, for example, rent went from $932 a month to $1,200 a month in 2022. In Alberta, rent surprisingly only went up by about $100. Again, $1,200 a month in 2021 to $1,300 a month in 2022. Right? So, surprisingly, however, you might or might not remember, but in the early of 2021, rent actually went down about $200 per month per unit across Canada. But after that, it went up sharply and now sitting on $1,900 a month on average per unit per month across Canada. And there's one thing that you might find interesting is rent has went up by a total of 11% across Canada. However, employees' wages only went up by 5.6% across Canada. Okay, so just something to keep in mind. Now in Alberta, 3-bedroom is going for $1,900 a month. BC 3-bedroom is $3,200 a month. Right? New Brunswick 3-bedroom is $2,000 a month. Rent in New Brunswick is actually more expensive than Alberta now for 3-bedroom. Right? And then in Newfoundland, 3-bedroom is not applicable because there's not enough supplies, but based on what I see on the market, it probably go for about $1,900 as well for a 3-bedroom. Right? So rent has increased across the market. Okay? And what happens? Why did we get to this point? And because of the rent increase, what are we seeing now in the market? Number one, now you're going to start seeing less and less moving incentive and promotions. Right? It's harder to find and less people are offering them. Next, the only three markets that still have some incentive to move in are Calgary, Edmonton, and Winnipeg. Right? Now, and what happened with all of this is when rent go up, more money from a family is going into rent instead of going into saving for a down payment. Right? And because interest rate went up, there's less buyers, that means there's more renters. Okay? And when renters not moving out of their property to own property, they now occupy potential rental supply. Right? And a lot of people are now also adopting the mindset of bigger and more expensive markets such as London and Manhattan, is that they are now saying, I should just be okay with renting. There's no point of purchasing or owning properties anymore in today's market. So those are the few ways that people are adopting to the rent increase or not able to purchase property, right? So what does all this mean as an investor? Myself as an investor, I think this is a good thing for investors because we will worry about mortgage went up, which will be difficult for us to make mortgage payments. But however, because of that, rents are going up across the market. There's more demand than ever, and pricing is going up. That means we will not be into negative, and we might actually still cash flow. Depends on the situation you are in. But most of my property are invested in provinces that allow us to increase rent with no cap. Right? But as a renter, things might not look very good. But there's also a few ways to adapt to this, as I shared earlier. Okay, well, that is it for today. Thank you so much for watching. I hope that was helpful, and see you next time. Peace.